Okay, students. So in this class, let us discuss about the topic called excretion, which is coming as the last topic in the chapter life process. Okay, so far we have been dealing with the topics called nutrition. Then we saw about after nutrition we came about respiration. Then thirdly we studied about circulation related to transportation, and the fourth topic in that particular chapter is excretion. So this is something which you have already learned in your smaller classes, especially in your 7th standard. Now, little more in detail you have to learn in class 10th. So let us start with what is excretion. It's a process which basically removes the waste products from the body. So when you hear about waste products, you may think that it is a waste product that may be coming from the food. But actually, the undigested food waste is actually given out through a separate system which is coming as the last part of the system of digestive system. You might have remembered when we studied about digestion, you can see that in that the undigested food is expelled in the form of solid waste. That is what is meant by fecal matter. But this one is different. This is basically eliminating our nitrogenous waste which is getting accumulated in our body. Okay, so all the different metabolic waste, the reactions that take place in the body will release certain waste products which are called metabolic waste. So these metabolic waste are especially nitrogen containing waste which will be removed by the process of excretion. And in lower organisms, they don't have a separate system for excretion, but rather the body's general surface itself is playing a role in excreting the unwanted substance. But in case of humans, we can see a well developed excretory system. So in this lesson, we are going to deal with the excretory system of human in detail. Okay, so basically, let us understand the different parts of the human excretory system. Here you can see that the excretory system basically consists of a pair of kidneys. Okay, so here you can see one kidney, and here also there is another kidney. Okay, then leading from each kidney you can see one tube like structure that is coming, which is known as the ureters. Okay, that is known as the ureter. So let us mark the parts now. So basically here you can see it is the kidney that is getting formed. Then from the kidney, from both sides, it arises the ureters. That's a tube that is coming from each kidney, and they are coming and entering in a muscular bag which is known as the urinary bladder. Urinary bladder, and finally there is a small opening to the outside which is known as urethra. Okay, so let us understand the structure once more. Basically the excretory system of humans consists of a pair of kidneys which are bean shaped. Then arising from each kidney you can see two tubes which are called ureter, one on either side. These ureters will come and join in a bag like structure called urinary bladder, and there is a passage for transferring the content outside which is the urethra. So just we will brief out the functions of these parts here. Okay, kidney is a basic organ of humans which will filter the waste called urine. Okay, kidneys are the filtering units of the human body which basically filters urine and sends urine to the outside body. Now, arising from each kidney, you can see a tube which is called ureters. So, the urine which is formed in the kidney will be transferred to the ureters. These ureters will carry the urine and it will be stored temporarily in the urinary bladder, which will be given out when we feel like urinating. That particular urine which is stored in the urinary bladder will be given out through the opening called urethra, which is found in both male as well as in female humans. Okay, so this is basically the structure of a urinary system, or you can say the excretory system of humans. Now we will move in detail about the structure of kidney. Now you should know that this is situated in the lower pelvic region. Pelvic region means region which is coming just below the stomach part. Okay, and just towards the back of your body you can see the kidney. Back side of the body you can see the excretory system. In the front portion, you have the digestive system. Just at the back, you can see the kidneys located. Okay, so let us move on to the more details of kidney. Okay, children, now you can see that if you take a particular kidney of one side, you can see that the kidney is like a shape of a bean. Okay, now from this, you can see this is a concave part and this is the convex part. You understand? This is the concave part and this outer region is the convex part. Okay, now from the concave part arises the tubule, which is called the ureter, as I have told in the previous diagram. Okay, now this ureter is entering into the kidney like this. Okay, now in this region of the kidney, you can see the actual, structural and the functional unit of the kidney, which is known as the nephron. Have I understood? So nephron is considered as the structural and functional unit of the kidney. Now this nephron is present in million times in this kidney. One kidney itself consists of millions of nephrons. You can imagine how much nephron will be there in both the kidneys. Now why is this nephron important? The nephron is important because the filtration of the kidney is actually taking place in the nephron. So now we are moving on to the detailed structure of the nephron. So here I have written two important terms. Basically, we can say that a nephron consists of two important parts, which is known as Malpighian body and a renal tubule. This is what is exactly drawn here. You can see this entire cup-shaped structure forms the Malpighian body. This entire cup-shaped structure is the Malpighian body, and what is coming down as a tube is forming the renal tubule. So first we have just divided the nephron into two parts, that is a Malpighian body and the renal tubule. Okay, now we will move into the more details of this nephron. Okay, students, now in this diagram, you can see that what I have explained before. See, this entire structure I told you, it is the Malpighian body. Okay, now let us move into the details of the Malpighian body. The Malpighian body is actually made up of two parts. The first part is called glomerulus. You can see a network of blood vessels here. This round thing which is forming a network of blood vessels, what is known as glomerulus, and you can see a cup shaped structure which is holding that network, which is known as the Bowman's capsule. So that cup shaped part is the Bowman's capsule and the network that is formed inside is called the glomerulus. So together the glomerulus and the Bowman's capsule is referred to as the Malpighian body. Now the next part I've told you is the renal tubule. The renal tubule, which is going down like this as a long tube. Now we can divide the renal tubule basically into four parts, or we can basically divide it into three parts. The first part is known as proximal convoluted tubule. Why it is called a convoluted tubule means a coiled tube. That's why it is called convoluted tubule, and it is called proximal because it is nearer to the Bowman's capsule. So this part which is just coming from the Bowman's capsule is called the proximal convoluted tubule. Then this tube is going down and becoming very thin. Then it is taking a U-turn, and that U-turn alone is what is called the Henle's loop. Loop means a turn like this, and Henle is the name of the scientist who actually discovered this particular region. So that is why this U-turn is called Henle's loop. Now this Henle's loop is again going up and it is broadening as the normal tubule, which is called the distal convoluted tubule. It is called distal again because it is away from the Bowman's capsule, and convoluted because it is coiled. Okay, so these are the three parts of the renal tubule, that is proximal convoluted tubule, Henle's loop and distal convoluted tubule. Now we can see one important structure like this, which is like a branch, isn't it? Branch of a tree. Now all these tubules are joining into a duct which is called the collecting duct or the collecting tubule. Okay, so in short we can say this is a structure which is filtering the blood, and the filtered blood will pass through this region. Okay, so whatever is found in this tubule will be called as the urine, This tubule will be going and shedding the urine to the collecting duct. All these collecting duct, that is, I told you there are millions of nephrons. So all the collecting duct of these millions of nephrons will go and directly fall into the ureters. Have you understood? So millions of nephrons collecting tube will be directly falling on the ureter. You remember the structure of the kidney that I had drawn earlier? Like this. So this collecting duct will be pouring the urine to the ureters, and this ureter will bring it to the urinary bladder. Have you understood? So this is how the urine formation takes place. Now you should understand that there is an artery which is bringing the blood into this Bowman's capsule. This artery is called the renal artery. It is otherwise known as afferent arteriole. In some books it is labeled as afferent arteriole. So this is artery which is bringing the impure blood in the sense the blood which consists of so much of nitrogen base like urea, then excess sugar, excess we can say salt. All this sugar won't be usually eliminated through urine, only in certain disease conditions like diabetes. Other than that, there will be excess vitamin, then any toxic substance or anything which is not needed by the body will be contained in this blood. So this blood is moving through the renal artery to the glomerulus. In this region, it is splitting into so many minute capillaries, and these capillaries will again rejoin to form a renal vein, which is otherwise known as efferent arteriole. So other name of renal artery is afferent arteriole or renal vein is called as efferent arteriole. Have you understood? So this much is the major structure of the nephron. So you can see one artery, renal artery is entering into the glomerulus. It is branching, forming a capillary, and then it is joining back as a renal vein or the efferent arteriole. Okay, so this much is a basic structure of the nephron.